Tonight on the Super Important Show, the great sausage mystery of 2023. Is Chucky real and a bunch of sheep get baked? I am one of your hosts, Dustin Diodato, and with me, as always, is the amazing Heather Jules Booth. Hello, Heather Jules Booth.
Hello.
And tonight we have a double shot of Jules Booth with Christopher Jules Booth. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome. For folks who don't know, could you give us a quick explainer of who Christopher Jules Booth is?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking you, yeah. I want you to define yourself in under 30 seconds.
I am an actor, writer, comedian, and comic book illustrator here in New York City.
Okay, that is a great explanation. And the husband of the wonderful Heather.
And husband of the wonderful Heather.
Yes. Cool. Heather, do you wanna get us into it?
Can't wait. This story. We've been sitting on this story for 2 weeks now.
We have.
This story is called Wahiki's Sausage Mystery. Ripping us apart. We can't trust one another. This is a town in New Zealand. I feel like I'm both surprised and not surprised. Chris and I have been watching a lot of Amazing Race, and I feel like since we have, I'm less surprised by this. Residents of Wahiki Island have been finding single sausages wrapped in bread left in their mailboxes. Mm-hmm. It says, victims of the Surfdale Sausager say that the mystery is tearing the community apart. Now, this story wants you to know that Virginia Fallon investigates. And boy, does she, because this is the longest story I think we have ever had on this. Like, I was reading it last week to prep, and I was like, interesting fact. Wow. Wow. Okay. So, to summarize, in the summer of 2022, so a scant year ago, mm-hmm. A man found I'm going to read it the way it's written. Wrapped in white buttered bread and coated in tomato sauce, it was cold by the time he found it in the letterbox, though it looked to have once been barbecued. It was a sausage. Right. Yeah. It was a sausage.
You get it?
Yeah. It's a town that's a 30-minute boat ride from downtown Auckland. It is the world's 5th best region as ranked by Lonely Planet. It also has the distinguishing information that it was where somebody broke their self-isolation during COVID and caused New Zealand's first Omicron community case. So there you go. Blah, 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 long stuff. Yeah, so this happened to this one guy named Jacob. And then other residents started realizing that they too were receiving sausages in their mailboxes. They started a local Facebook group to figure out if sausaging was a euphemism for something else or if it truly was just somebody sticking sausages in their mailboxes. It says that weeks or months would go by without incident. They would get a sausage and then no one would get a sausage for a while and they'd forget about it. And then all of a sudden they'd get a sausage. And a person interviewed for this story says, you never know when the strike will happen, but when it does, then everybody gets struck. It's traumatic. Nobody's letterboxes are safe. Now, okay.
Yeah,
I think this, come on.
If this story has taught me anything, it's go to New Zealand, because if this is what's rocking your world...
If this is what's traumatic?
Right.
That you get a sausage wrapped in some bread in a mailbox with no threats, nothing. There's no letters, nothing. It's just, that's funny. I think it's funny. This person says it's brazen. So I agree, Dustin. This makes you feel like, oh, well, New Zealand is a low drama place.
Right. This is what's tearing the town apart.
Yes. They said it's ripping us apart. We can't trust one another because I've been accused and my brothers have been accused.
I just don't understand what the problem is with Sausage Claus. Sausage Claus only comes once a year. and he gives
Right.
out sausages to all the good boys and girls.
That's the problem, though, Chris. Sausage Claus is coming like multiple times a year. He's throwing off
Mhm.
the tradition.
Well,
They
doesn't
can't
that
take
what
it.
isn't that what you would want from a sausage claus? Who wants sausage once a year? Have you
Fair.
have you never had one of those delectable honey sausages, like summer sausage? That's the word.
I mean, probably. I can't say for sure, but I would think maybe yes, I have.
Dustin, you 100% have had a summer sausage.
Okay. If
You've never had a Pepperidge Farm summer sausage.
I don't know. Like anytime. Here's what I'll say. Anytime I've had a sausage, it was not from my own creation. I did not cook it. So where my sausage originated,
Where the sausage came from.
right? It's never been just like a random.
Sausages?
I mean, no, but I mean, like, I've never cooked sausage, I guess is what I'm saying. I've had sausage cooked for me, and I've purchased sausage at places, but I've never been the originator of the sausage. Therefore, I don't know if I had a Pepperidge Farm one. But I will concede to you that I have probably had a sausage during the summer.
I feel like this is the saddest retelling of the House of Un-American Activities from 1950. I've never been a member of the sausage party. I never knew anyone part of the sausage party. I have had sausage, but I myself am not a sausage.
Yeah. I'm not going to jail for you guys.
Well,
all right,
before
Heather, continue.
Oh yeah, before we, dismiss this sausaging story, there's another wrinkle because as I mentioned, this is the longest story in the history of super important show stories.
Yeah.
Can
Can I just ask a question? Because I didn't read this whole story. But wouldn't you assume, and maybe this will be leading to where you're going, wouldn't you assume that the person who sells sausages would be able to point to, this is the person who's buying all the sausages?
That is, in fact, where we are going,
Okay,
Dustin.
All right.
Is this a sausage detective?
Is this the writer of this article was a sausage detective?
Is this Law and Order sausage special sausage?
Yes,
unit?
it is SVU Sausage Victim Unit. Yes.
Nice.
So they decided, or they didn't decide that it's this guy, but they said, "Hey, we want to point out something. Wahiki is where the Mad Butcher lives." Just saying. Now we find out that the Mad Butcher, who I believe Dustin has a picture of
course I do.
also known as Sir Peter Leach, is quick to offer reasons why he couldn't possibly be the sausager. Because, and that's the phrase, the sausager. He no longer owns a nationwide franchise, and he still buys his sausages from stores, and he would never throw them away. He says, "I'm flabbergasted." Yes.
I just want to go on record and say the sausager is the worst Avenger.
Yes, it is the worst. Yes. Nobody wants the sausager. So he's offended by these accusations because he says sausages aren't cheap to make. He says he tried to buy some sausages, blah, blah, blah. They were expensive. Why would I put them in people's mailboxes? Then they asked a butcher in the town, and they said she was cagey. And this was the point where I said, good God, this is a long story about people getting sausages in their mailbox. It's funny. What's happening?
Right. Before we continue, let me show the Mad Butcher. I want you to visualize what you think the Mad Butcher looks like. If you're out there in chat, picture it. I don't think that it would necessarily be this old guy. Like, I feel like if you're gonna have the name the Mad Butcher, it shouldn't be this dude. But it is this dude.
This is the worst production of Sweeney Todd I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Right? It's just an old guy at a Friendly's. He's like, "I'm drinking my Fribble. Don't you guys come get me. Watch out."
What is on that plate? Sausages, clams, and avocado?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what he's eating.
Fucking unassuming butcher. Exactly.
Yeah, he's got look at all his rings, though.
I would say you can't trust anyone with that many rings on their fingers.
Yeah, he's got a lot of rings. Yeah,
So
he might be a Mad Butcher.
Yeah, that could add to the shadiness. Are we? So we're not going to get. Well, I don't want to spoil whether or not we're going to get it.
So no, we're never going to get to the bottom of this. We don't ever find out who's doing it. the more this story goes on, the more and more like dramatic the people in this story get. Somebody says, you don't realize the toll it's taking on your victims. Hurt and betrayed is how another victim describes it. One person said they found sausages twice, once in Christmas paper and once plain paper. And that seemed to deeply disturb them. There's anonymous sausages. So basically, people are getting sausages in their mailbox in New Zealand. And I think that we all need to go there because, as you all pointed out correctly, the fact that that is the biggest source of drama for New Zealand and that they're traumatized, let's all just go.
Right. We could go there and be a regular street gang. Like, we would be very tough there, it seems. Like, if you're hurt by a free sausage in your mailbox. If that's the thing that's like taking you out.
Yeah, because I would start like mixing it up. I would start giving them like meatless sausages, probably sausages in buns, so like all sorts of crazy things just to throw them off. Yeah.
Yeah. Or a hamburger. That would really blow
Oh
all
my
the
God.
fucking minds.
You save that for whatever their like day of trickery is. Yeah.
Yeah, when Halloween or
I really
whatever.
wish I lived in a town where crime was so low that the worst thing that could happen to you is someone puts a sausage in your mailbox.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I admittedly, like, I lived in Northport on Long Island, which is a somewhat affluent town. We have a gazebo, so like, if you know, towns with gazebos is usually pretty nice. And we had the local paper, and they had like the police blotter, and it was always like, you know, somebody stepped on a plant, and I was just like, Jesus, like, what is, you know, like, what is happening in this town that the worst thing is somebody stepped on a plant? Also, there was a murder there before I moved in there, like a huge, horrific, like nationwide murder. So if you ignore that, it's just like this town, but also sometimes there's a horrific murder. Anyway, that's my story. Do we want to move on?
I've actually heard about that murder.
Yeah, it's crazy. Chris, do you want to tell your story?
Yeah, thanks for the segue.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Speaking of murder, my story is Demon Chucky Doll arrested in Mexico for wielding real knife to scare people. So this, of course, comes from the New York Post, so it's a bit of a misdirect. What happened is a guy who was reported as being on illicit substances was terrifying people in a local town with a Chucky doll that had a real knife sticking out of its overalls, and was like putting it in people's faces and freaking them out. So the guy got arrested, and then the local newspaper convinced one of the cops to handcuff the Chucky doll against a wall, and then the cop who handcuffed the Chucky doll was reprimanded for not taking the job seriously. Which I think the picture tells it.
Yeah,
tells you everything you need to know.
Come on.
I mean that photo's existence though, like, is horrifying, just in the sense that like people are gonna be like, wait, but is it? But like, no, but like, is there a reason for that? Like, did they have to do that? The other photo is far more timid.
When I first started reading the story, I did have a moment of like, this tracks, because like 2 weeks ago, in front of like the Mexican Parliament or Congress, they brought out two obviously fake aliens and claimed that they were alien mummies. So I was like, I guess this tracks for being kind of wacky, but no, it was more of a setup that this poor cop got in trouble for. But still hilarious. Also frightening about the person carrying around the Chucky doll trying to freak people out.
Yeah. I mean, something about that I feel like would work. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just doing that. Like, even though we all know that's not, the Chucky's not real. There's something about Chucky specifically that I think like still horrifies people. Like, I think it is a good way. Like, it is. Well, let me ask you guys this question: is it more terrifying than just a dude holding a knife? Like, if Chucky's moving around and holding a knife, is that more terrifying than just a random?
Of course it's terrifying.
Right, but you know it's a doll. Like,
so what? You have a person in your chat right now, one Miss Julia Dart. Heather and I went up to her, where her parents were from to see a friend of ours on a Broadway tour. And Julia's like, "Oh, I've put the married couple in this room that you guys can stay in overnight." Well, we go in the room, and
she did warn us.
The closet is filled with mechanical Santa Clauses who are just staring at you from the closet. It was the most terrifying night of sleep I've ever had in my life. I know those things aren't real, but they can move. It's terrifying.
It was really funny.
I tell you, if my choices were to have a guy threaten me with a Chucky doll or get a sausage in my mailbox, I'll take a sausage in my mailbox.
Yes, I will 100% every day. Like,
Julia wants everyone
and
to
also,
make
sausage in the mailbox
her mom.
sounds like a euphemism from when your parents want you to go out and play.
Yeah,
go out and play. Mommy needs to get a sausage in the mailbox.
Oh, got it.
Right, that's why I imagine when they Googled sausaging as a term, I feel like there's probably a thing. I feel like that probably comes up. Like,
yes, but maybe in New Zealand, who knows?
You think they have a different
Chucky
internet?
Doll.
Yeah.
If you look up murder Chucky doll, you're going to see some wild stuff.
Yeah, I'm 100% sure that is true.
Maybe what New Zealand needs is a Chucky doll doing the sausaging.
Yeah, I mean, like in based on what we've learned tonight, if we just brought a Chucky doll to New Zealand and sat it in a chair,
have the whole country to ourselves,
right?
They would leave.
Right.
Yes.
Like it wouldn't even have to move.
I want to point out in chat, Julia is trying to defend herself, saying that the Santa Clauses were her mothers. That doesn't.
They are.
It doesn't excuse you. Those things should have been burned.
She can't burn her mom's Santa Claus dolls. Only her mom can.
If you're going to have real life humans sleep in a bed, attempt to sleep in a bed, you don't need these blinking, moving Santas in a closet. Terrifying.
I mean, why are you going in the closet?
In Florida now. They've moved to Florida. I feel like that might be why Florida is the way it is.
Because it's haunted by Santas.
Yes.
So why, Chris? Why were you going in their closet to begin with?
What else do you do when you stay in someone's house?
You don't look through their shit. You know, like
she also had warned us, like, that there were going to be these Santas. So it's like the syndrome.
So it was an invite.
Told about the thing,
and the
you've got to
closet
look.
Door was slightly. The closet door was
slightly open.
Yeah.
So, and the light just fell upon their faces. It was like one of those pictures of an old Chuck E. Cheese where the Showtime band is slowly.
It had big Chuck E. Cheese energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. But the door wasn't open when you got into the room. It just slowly opened a little bit more, like as you over the course of the night. Scare the crap out.
You try to go to sleep and you hear.
Yeah, I mean, here's what I will say, Julia. So at least throw a blanket over it. Like, make it. You know what I mean? Like hide it in some. Like, if you know that it's freaky. Okay, a couple of things. Throw a blanket over it, or two, have it face the wall. Like, having it face out is so much more horrifying. Like, seeing their eyes is so much more horrifying. So at least make the Santas like look at the wall.
I beg to differ.
Julie says before we got there, they were in bags. That's worse.
I beg to differ because at least facing out, you can tell that they're little toys. If it was just facing the wall, it would look like a little person was hiding in the closet, hoping not to be seen.
Okay, all right, I'll give you that one. That's all horrifying. But so, Julia, are they gone? It sounds like they're gone now. It sounds like there are no longer Santas in your home.
They've moved to Florida.
Okay, well that's good.
By themselves.
Yes.
The Santa moved to Florida by themselves.
They all woke up one day and they were like, "Where are they? Oh, they're in Florida.
Yeah.
Oh, they sent us a postcard. It says having a great time. Okay.
All right. Well, Anything else on the Chucky story, or do we want to keep moving?
I think we can move on. I think you saw everything there was to see about that Chucky story.
All right, cool. All right, so my story is pretty simple. We'll probably go through it relatively fast. A sheep herder in Turkey was taking his sheep out. He was obviously a shitty sheep herder because he kind of lost track of his sheep. Sheep were like doing their thing. They invaded a greenhouse, and because there had been a drought there, it was hard to find food to begin with. And they found food in this greenhouse. It turned out that what that greenhouse was a medical marijuana greenhouse. So it was just filled with cannabis plants. The sheep wrecked it. The sheep ate they said it was 100 kilograms, which there's no way a human being could know how much that actually is, but because there's no way to do the conversion. But I believe it is a lot of stuff. And the thing is, the story buried. I'm so annoyed at the story because it buried the most important element that they could have explained. Because the sheep herder did not see the sheep going through the greenhouse. The only way the sheep herder found out that the sheep had done that was they started engaging in weird behavior. So he did further research. And then they move on. And if you were going to be a journalist, like the lady who learned about the sausage thing, you find out what the hell weird behavior, sheep engaging in weird behavior is. Because I want to know what sheep getting stoned look like.
So you're not using a clever euphemism to try and be like, not that I would expect you to be clean on the show, but you're not trying to cover it up. They don't say what weird behavior is.
No, they don't. They just say they engage in weird behavior, and then they figured out.
I really want to know what that is too.
Right. What is sheep?
Are they hearing each other? What were they doing?
Right.
As a point of clarity, this is weird sheep on sheep behavior. This isn't weird sheep herder on sheep behavior.
No. This is sheep just engaging. I mean, I assume again the story is not clear as to exactly what happened, but they were.
I mean, I
different.
also say, here's my thought on this story.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a classic unreliable narrator? Because the sheep herder is saying, it was so weird. I just wandered into a greenhouse and my sheep ate all this stuff, and the sheep must be high. Is it just that he wandered into
and ate 100 kilograms of cannabis?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert: there haven't been any sheep around for about 10 years.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, he just tried to blame it. Yeah. I mean, it
was my sheep. It was my sheep.
Yeah, I guess that is very possible. That is very possible that he's just getting wrecked off this. Apparently, it caused a big problem in Greece because there isn't a ton of medical marijuana there to begin with because they had the drought, and they were like, "Hey guys, we should, maybe make tomatoes instead of medical marijuana first." So folks who did need medical marijuana are having a tough time, but the sheep aren't.
I don't know, man. How many times in your life have you been like, I could get really high or I could have a tomato?
I mean, you're asking the wrong person because I've never gotten really high, but I have had a bunch of tomatoes. So,
there you go.
So for anybody else, that statement is correct. For me, unfortunately, I did a whole show about it.
Who knows, man? You could have been high. You don't even know what kind of sausage you're eating. So
that's 100% true. Yeah, if somebody's sneaking cannabis sausage in there, and I'm just like, wow, this is really good, and I want to
marijuana sausage.
The old cannabis sausage.
The old cannabis sausage.
I think that's all we got though for that story though, which brings us to the lovely part in the show where I encourage you to like and subscribe because it helps us a ton to let other people know what content you like, and it helps remind you of when we have new shows. So please take a moment to like and subscribe. It'll help us out a ton. Which then brings us to our next segment, which, if you haven't seen the show before, is What the Fact, where I will ask a series of trivia questions that hopefully y'all don't know the answer to. You'll try and guess the right answer. Chat will play along, and sometimes people do really good at this, and sometimes people know the answer, and it bums me out. But here we go. What the Fact, question number 1. And Chris, I'm coming to you first. When Jim Henson first introduced a Muppet to the world, it was doing what?
This is a question for Julia.
Yeah, Julia might know this. Julia, don't ruin it if you know it. Was he drinking beer while yelling at people on the street? Was he murdering people who didn't drink coffee? Or was he being seduced by Dolly Parton? I will tell you that this is one of those, there's only one answer. I'm not, so, which one of these do you think was the first introduction to a Muppet by Jim Henson?
I'm going to go with, B.
You're going to go with B, murdering people over coffee?
Yeah.
Okay. We're seeing a bunch of B's and we're seeing a bunch of C's. Heather, what do you think?
I thought it was A, because while I'm not surprised that it's not like child Muppets, not that the Muppets were ever supposed to be like child Muppets, you know what I mean? I can't believe it's murdering over coffee, although chat seems to really think it's murdering over coffee. Listen,
Yeah.
I understand that, because if I don't have coffee, I'm not happy. But I'm going to go with A, drunk and yelling.
You're going to go with A?
I don't
Okay.
see. Yeah.
The actual answer, because I feel like chat knew.
Wow.
We said it was murdering people who don't drink coffee. Let me get.
Yeah.
Julia says it
cute
started as
picture.
a community access show.
Yeah.
Look at you trying to trip me up on the first question and the kid knowing it.
I mean, great job. I was trying to trick you.
Put your money in here and you get a cup of Wilkins coffee. I don't want any. Then push that button. How about a cup of Wilkins?
That's the tame one.
With this camera, I shoot pictures of people who don't drink Wilkins coffee. I'm ready. Shoot. Anybody else? You'll like this new car. Yeah. It's got a built-in maker for Wilkins instant coffee. Who needs it? Well, you can't sell them all.
Wow.
Yeah, it keeps getting worse.
Got your parachute? I forgot it. How about the Wilkins coffee? I forgot that too. You'll never forget this.
Yeah.
Any last requests?
This person straight up in an electric chair.
You don't drink Wilkins? No. How shocking.
Wow.
Yep.
Want a cup of Wilkins coffee? What'll Mr. Wilkins do if I don't? Oh, he'll probably put his foot down.
Wow.
Yeah, these are dark. Like, these are legitimately dark things. So
Jim Henson was a weirdo.
yeah, apparently, and willing to sell out the Muppets real early. So,
Did you ever see the first Muppets on the first season of SNL?
yeah, those are real dark.
Weird.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 2. Yeah, I agree, Joy. Wowza, it was fucked up. Excuse me. Question number 2. Heather, I'm coming to you first this time.
All right.
Which of the following is a real job for a celebrity, like a first early job? Was it Paul Rudd had a job glazing hams? Was it the Gina Davis had a job as a live mannequin? Or was it the Chris Hemsworth had a job cleaning breast pumps?
I'm going to go with all 3.
Okay.
I think all 3 of these sound like weird jobs that these specific people have had.
All right. You're welcome to do that.
Yeah, because I absolutely believe Gina Davis was a mannequin. Like, 100% believe that. Paul Rudd just seems like the type who glazed some hams.
he has a
glaze,
a ham glazing kind of thing. Okay.
You know, it's probably how he stays so young looking. He glazed hams early.
Okay. So Josh is going with C.
But then
all 3.
Switching to my team with all 3. Lynette
Yeah,
also all 3.
I'm going to agree with Heather. As I was telling Heather yesterday, always agree with your wife. I'm going to agree with Heather and go with all 3.
Okay. All right.
Mostly because I know for a fact Gina Davis was a living mannequin, and I think I've heard the thing about Hemsworth with the breast pumps.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, I will cut to it because you guys are right. It is in fact
all
3. Gina Davis. Yeah, the Gina Davis worked like in a, worked in a department store and like agreed to just sort of like try and mess with something, and then people were so drawn into the fact that she wouldn't move that they kept coming back all weekend to see her not move. So I feel like she was an early precursor to those like Times Square weird people that just don't move for a while, that are just like pretend statues. So they it's, I mean, but I mean, like improv everywhere doesn't do that all the time. They do that like once. Like they're not like the, all right. Question number 3. In the Netherlands, the government pays for what to happen at funerals when people have no one, like, no close family. Is it they pay professional mourners to attend and cry? Is it they pay poets to write personal poems about the person who died? Or is it they televise them on a public funeral TV channel? Chris, I'll come to you first. Which of these do you think the Netherlands is actively doing right now for anybody who doesn't have close friends and family?
I mean, I think it's A, but knowing your weird desires, I would say it could be C.
My weird desires? What are my weird desires?
Well, I mean, you find weird stories.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Desires isn't the right word. You're perchance for odd stories.
Okay.
But I think it's A. But it would not surprise me if the Netherlands had funeral TV.
Okay. So you're gonna go with A. Heather?
Yeah.
I also think it's A, because everything that the media here, when people are like anti-America, all the bad things happening in America, it's always like, look at the Netherlands and all the great things they have there. And professional mourners sounds pretty cool. So I'm going to go with that. Personal poet sounds, I don't know, kind of weird. Funeral TV sounds uncomfortable. I wouldn't, yeah. So I'm going with A.
Okay. Does chat have a consensus?
Chat seems sort of split between A, poem. Chat split, actually. Okay. Between all the answers.
Okay. Well, for folks who, it is not an all 3, because I think that would have been weird. I mean,
too many
weird things. The actual answer is the poets.
Oh.
Yeah, they pay a collection of poets to research the lives of people who have died, and then they write poetry and read it over, like, while the person is being buried. But there's like, no, the only people that come there are the people, because they don't have anybody, are people who are interested in the poems. So it encourages people to go to.
Oh wow.
Go to the funeral.
Tricks them to come to the funeral. Okay.
Yeah, to hear like the cool poetry. But yeah, the Netherlands pays people to do that. So they are obviously in more support of the arts than we are.
Could you imagine being a young child in the Netherlands, and your parents are like, "What would you like to be when you grow up?" And you're like, "Oh, me, Daddy, I want to be a funeral poet."
Yeah.
I mean,
and what happens if so this opens up a bigger can of worms, but like, do they do poems for everyone who doesn't have someone there, or like only people who like they go into their history and they're like, okay, this is okay to write a poem about? Like, what if somebody dies and they find out that they're like a rampant serial killer? Are they gonna like do a poem
I think they
about
probably
them?
I think they probably don't. Like,
they'd skip that. Yeah.
There are like 90% of the poems. Violets are blue and roses are dead. Poor Schliskenficken is now surely dead.
Yeah. I mean, you could be making money.
No offense to anyone from the Netherlands.
Yeah. This isn't a traditionally funny thing, but I just want to bring it up because of the thing you had mentioned, Heather. Did you guys see the story about the guy from Ukraine that they applauded in Canada?
No.
There was there was I don't remember. I think it was like a baseball game or something like that, and they put a guy on the screen and said, this is a soldier from Ukraine. He's like 85 years old. He fought in World War II. Like, everybody applauded, and everybody applauded for him. And then somebody did some research and discovered that he had fought on the other side. He was part of a small collection of people that were in support of Hitler.
No.
The Prime Minister of Canada, what the fuck, Trudeau,
that young guy,
Trudeau,
right?
Yeah.
Trudeau?
Yeah, was there and applauded it. And then everybody got mad at him for applauding a Nazi.
Well,
and he's like, I didn't know. Like,
he doesn't have the best history, so are we
Right,
100% surprised by this?
right, but he didn't know that he didn't know the guy. But it also
He didn't
turns
know
out,
dressing up as Aladdin was a bad idea
Yeah.
either, but let's be real.
but so it turns out that they'd been looking for this guy. So
Oh my, what? It gets deeper?
yeah,
Ah!
so they're trying to extradite him.
Yeah, of course.
So it's like this whole thing where how did the guy not be like, nah, I'm good. You don't need to put me on the TV.
Guy spent his
Right.
entire life running and escaping,
Right.
and he gets caught on the jumbotron.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. I don't understand how that happened, but
But so the
That's-
story, Dustin, that I read,
Yeah.
They also said, but you'd be surprised by how many actual statues are in the U.S. for soldiers who were Nazis.
really,
Just people who were sympathizers. And also, spoiler alert, if you drive a Ford car, you're or Ford truck as they are, you are purchasing from a company built on the back of a Nazi sympathizer.
well, no,
Or built on the belief of a
accurate.
Nazi sympathizer.
right. I'm not going to fight you on that, but that is I agree with you, and all of that is 100% true. It's different than applauding a physical Nazi who is in the room with you.
Well, what are people supposed to do? Look up their phone, going, "Well, I can't wait to applaud this old guy. Let me look it up first."
All right, no, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Search
I'm not. No.
Let me Google Lens him right now.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying it was anybody there who applauded fault. I'm saying there was
I
a
do-
huge drop of the ball of when they said oh, this guy, somebody somehow somebody had to alert the venue that this guy was a soldier. They all had to agree to it. That's where it's
that's my
weird.
question though. How fast did the internets, as we'll just call it, realize?
Pretty quick,
how
within a
fast?
day.
Pretty quick.
Yeah.
And I bet this old guy was just he didn't even think the internet. Did they those kids? And yeah.
But if you've been on the run, go ahead.
It's sort of like a reverse Google image search, except it's a reverse Nazi image search.
Yeah.
So you just
Right.
immediately look it up. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that guy's forever old, but I think his.
Did they get him?
I mean, they know where he is now, and they're trying to extradite him.
There's the.
Yeah. I think it was Germany who was trying to extradite him. I'm not 100%. No, Poland. I'm sorry. Poland is trying to extradite him for crimes that he committed there. And and Canada's initial response was, well, we don't have an extradition treaty with you. And then Poland's response was so? Nazi.
Right. Poland's response Canada, you're supposed to be sort of we kind of look up to you. Maybe not all countries.
Yeah. So I haven't researched exactly where it all stands right now, but just a story that I figured, if you missed it, merited being told.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's wild.
Which now brings us to a far lighter segment that we call Available Now on Amazon, where Heather, which of your wacky items do you want to discuss first?
Let's go with this weird ass bodysuit first.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have now, I don't know why this is the brand name, but the brand name is Sister Amy.
Yeah.
Women long sleeve zip printed zipper surfing one piece swimsuit bathing suit, and it's just human organs. It's just, yep, there it is, anatomy bathing suit, and it promises sexy zipper because when you're showing off human organs on the beach, you need to have a sexy zipper. You can't just have a regular zipper.
No, it's gotta be sexy.
Invisible zipper, no metal teeth zipper. It's got to be a sexy zipper. It promises you. What are the other things it promised? Also, what is a sexy zipper? Who knows? Fashion printing. And it promises you that you can be on the beach like this. Also, it's a turtleneck. So, how uncomfortable is that?
Now I do want to point out that we only took this one. There are 18 different.
No. So I was looking through that and I was like, wait, but there's also a million different prints. Yeah. So I'll read through some of the descriptions. There's human surface structure, There's surface structure in color, red skeleton, heart, skull, skull 1, which is just a skull with roses drawn in. It's that in yellow. Let me see what else. Muscles, more skulls and roses, two-tone, sugar skull, rainbow skull. This one called purple skull, which you can't see. I'm unable to really describe, but it's like melted ice cream internal organs. And then there's just zebra, and zebra is just a zebra print. There's also fake lady bikini, and there's a sexy leprechaun. Not with organs.
I don't know what you think you're going to get when you order from the TedBundy.com bathing suit website.
Right. What else do you get? What were you thinking?
So, Heather, is there a world you wear this to the beach?
No. Okay. No. I would wear this in a show, though. This is hilarious. I would definitely find one of these.
I think the question is there a world, Dustin, in which you would wear this to the beach?
No, there's not. I will say I have appeared on stage in a women's bathing suit before. But never one with organs. And I'd rather not do it again.
What was the one that you had to wear? What did it look like?
It was a black one piece that I wore basically like up to the nipple, like just below. Wow. I was playing Marilyn Manson, and we determined that of
course
that a women's one piece bathing suit and dress shoes was what Marilyn Manson would wear. And I did a live stage show where I was dressed as that, and forgot that immediately after the sketch I had to do like a 10-minute giveaway for prizes.
Excellent.
In that outfit, I was like, son of a bitch, but what am I gonna do? So
I bet you got a lot of prizes, though.
I mean, I was giving away prizes. So
yeah, they grabbed the prizes.
They did, and then ran because I was horrific at that time. So
here are some of my favorite things about this. Well, we already brought up sexy zipper, which makes no sense. Colorful personality print swimsuit makes your is a description.
Makes your? They didn't
makes
finish
your.
the sentence? Yeah.
Nope. And it also says, please don't use a large force to wash so as not to change clothes affect the original size. So don't use a large force to wash this. But my favorite
Don't get it wet. Don't get this.
Don't get it wet. Don't use a large force. Yeah. Most of the reviews are pretty unassuming. It's like, good quality. I liked this product. Cool, but kind of see-through. But then my favorite, the #1 complaint review. 3 stars. Not close to anatomically correct on the back. This person writes, front side cool, back not cool if you're hoping for anatomical correctness. So that's an unhappy from Angela Ball. Angela's very unhappy.
What
that it was not.
What is specifically? I mean, I don't know anatomy at all, so I'm not.
What do you look? What was Angela looking for? The spleen? I think your spleen is back there, isn't it? I think you got a spleen back there.
I mean, the shoulder muscles seem accurate to me. I don't know. I
guess.
And the butt seems to line up. So what more do you need?
Accuracy.
Okay.
Maybe the lungs are too high. Who knows? Maybe it's because it has a sexy zipper. Maybe that's what Angela's upset about, because Angela's like, zippers aren't sexy.
Yeah, or that like humans don't have zippers in their back.
Yeah, so. You don't have zippers on your skin flesh. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I just could not envision a world where this is used for anything other than a tutorial of anatomy. That like...
Or sketch comedy.
Right, or sketch comedy.
Some kind of comedy. Like, this is designed for comedy.
Right. But they're like, I don't know, and this isn't a knock on any woman that I know, but I don't think I know a woman confident enough to roll up to the beach, like, in this and think, like, I'm killing it right now. Like, just because it's, like, an upsetting kind of thing. If you can, more power to you. Like...
Julia thinks this means that reviewer wore it to show her science students and was offended.
I mean, that's possible.
Yeah, Julia, I agree. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to my second product. Okay. This is a product I was aware of this existence because people have sent me links to this product. Mm-hmm. As a devout cat lover, I do not believe in this product. I think it's ridiculous. It is a cat brush, soft massage cat tongue brush. Lick your cat like a mama cat to comfort, surprise, pet gifts. And it is, it's a thing that you like grip it with your mouth and you're supposed to lick your cat. And Julia, no. Yeah, Julia also, big cat person. Me,
Right.
cat person. Chris, cat person. No, absolutely not.
Which
That cat is not happy. Look at that cat. That cat is like, get this off me.
Which I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled that I found a cat thing that you're like, line too far. Like this is.
It is a line too far. It's a line too far. Absolutely. Like, cats don't want. It makes absolutely no sense. No cat is like, wow, I can't wait for my human to lick me. It's just not how they think. They have their own ways of showing you their affection. You using this terrifying thing to lick it is not it. I have seen this before, and I've seen videos of people who have purchased and tried this product, and the results are always hilarious because the cats, every single cat responds like the human equivalent of, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you go to lick them and they're like, so it's, yeah. But let's see, what did reviewers think? This should be noted that this product comes in pink and gray. I don't know why you want gray. Nobody has a fucking gray tongue, but just in case. Yes, Chris.
Well, I was going to say, if you go to someone's house and they have this, get the fuck out of their house. That's a psychopath.
Yeah.
That's not a person whose house you want to, and especially if it's the gray tongue one.
Right. Who's like, oh, it's crazy already, but pink is like at least trying to be like, oh, it's a tongue. Who wants a gray tongue?
I mean,
What even has a gray tongue? Cows? Like, what?
I mean, also, I could be wrong on this, but like, even if you are the type of person who likes to like brush your cat, you know, and like whatever, this feels like, hey, I want to brush my cat, but I want it to take like 3 hours. Like, I want it to be as hard as possible. Like,
there's no way this is not also right. If you take all the craziness out of it, it's just going to be clumsy.
yeah.
Also, it gives you a tip and trick. Before grooming your cat, spray a little water on the cat brush to keep the hair from flying around. AKA, so you know you're not swallowing cat hair.
Right. Because
Ridiculous.
it's basically like you're just, I guess, putting that part in your mouth. You're just like biting down on like.
This is,
So
this
when you
is
watch-
100% not. This is not a real product. You're not using that tongue on your cat. No one has bought that to use their tongue on their cat.
Oh, you
They're
think this is
using
for
the tongue
other?
all right, but they're using it on a person.
Okay, so you think this is secretly
That's
a sex product?
That is
Okay.
for beeholes. That's 100% for human beeholes.
And they're marketing it to cats so that Amazon
Right.
won't like ban them from
Okay.
selling it.
So I'm sure if that's true,
Okay.
then, I'm sure that if that's true, then somebody in chat has tried it. Can somebody in chat let us
You think
know?
our chat is full of people who are like, can't wait to tongue a beehole. Yeah. Well, let's read some reviews.
Okay.
2 stars, would not recommend. This thing is huge and heavy, and there's no way you can hold it in your mouth. It's too heavy on the teeth. Not denying what Chris is saying.
Yeah.
Work sorta got to kind of groom my cat, but they weren't the biggest fan of it.
No, it seems like a thing entirely intended to make your cat happy that does not make your cat happy.
No,
But
your cat's
apparently, if it is for beeholes, then that's.
Your cats will not like this. My cat was not impressed. He does not want my face that close to his coat.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense.
I can't tell in the picture. Does this person have more of like a harness on, or is that just the angle? Like, are they just biting into it? I can't really tell.
Oh, I think they're just biting it. Oh,
Okay.
you could be right though. They could, yeah, or it could be photoshopped.
Because it doesn't seem to line up precisely with like the other image, because it feels like there's like a guard or something there. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But-
What are the 1-star reviews? Let's see. This is not worth the money. Seriously, who's going to hold this in their mouth to brush their cat? It's bad enough holding it by hand. Oh, so you bought it. Yeah.
Mhm.
There you go. You bought it 1 star. You bought it.
All right. Well, I'm glad we went a step too far for us.
Yes.
Now we know what your line is.
I have limits. We
Cool.
we love our cats, but that's too much. That's way too much.
But if you were gonna lick your cat, would you lick your cat directly, or would you do this?
I will do neither because
Okay.
as I think I said in last week's link, I am not Angela Kinsey from The Office.
Okay.
So no, I'm not going to do either.
Okay.
Dustin, I'm not comfortable with you talking to my wife about her licking her cat.
Okay. That makes sense. I apologize. I will probably get in trouble after this whole thing is done. All right, Chris, let's move on to you then. Let's get away from cat licking.
All right, well, speaking of things for your beehole, my first thing up is Tiny Hands miniature finger puppets with left hand and right hand party favors. It's listed as educational.
Yes, of course it is.
Look at this horror show right here.
What?
This is, and I just want to say unequivocally, 100% Julia Darden owns these. I've seen her with these, or someone she is close to had them because I've seen them used in my presence. This is horrifying. I will say that someone gave it 5-star on Amazon. I have thick fingers, so they fit a little tight. But they're so awesome, it doesn't really matter. I love them all. LOL. Someone else wrote, huge crowd pleaser. I brought a couple packs of these to go in a piñata, and they were a huge hit.
What? No, it's the worst piñata ever.
I will say that I tried to find bad reviews of it, but the worst review I could find was, meh, hilarious gag gift, too soft.
Too soft.
I was a big fan of the because they have this as the initial demonstration, but then they have like 2 other like possible uses for it.
What are they?
And since we're on the cat tip, there's petting your cat with tiny hands.
Nope, that cat is so angry.
Right, that had to either be photoshopped or that cat is like stuffed. Like I can't imagine any cat.
No, that's a real cat, and what they're not showing you is like 2 seconds later that cat bit those hands.
Okay, I'm gonna say that like 50-50 it's a taxidermy cat, but like you could be right. The only thing that's more fidgety than cats or similarly fidgety than cats is a baby, where the little kid is like, look, I'm covering your eyes with these creepy little doll hands.
That is a picture from a Guillermo del Toro horror film.
Right.
That you can't tell me that that's not what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what that kid is wearing because it seems like that kid is like
a murder schmuck.
It's very fucking bizarre. So that is another. These are your uses for these puppets. Julia
is wearing a cult tunic because they have a cult haircut.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That is a weird haircut. I kind of thought so too.
Yeah. Julia, are we right? Is that what you Is that what you use the hands for cult related things?
Why are they doing different things? That's my question.
Right. One of them's doing like the, I can't tell if it's.
Yeah, one of them's doing the shocker, 100%.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell your audience what that means. One of the big problems people had with them is someone said, there's just no normal hands.
What?
One of them's
what?
This one, the second one down from the left is 100% showing a white power hand gesture.
It is, yep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, isn't the top one like just a normal hand? Like, what's wonky about the top one?
It depends on how you're holding it.
I mean, it's just like that,
I guess
though.
this person, their order, there was no normal hands.
Okay. So in the big bag of hands that you get, they only got the upsetting ones. Okay.
And they were so mad.
Yeah. So this is also a nobody's buying these ever in the history of ever, except for Julia, who has them and admitted to it.
Julia gives these out as party favors.
Okay. I'm I am both disappointed and not disappointed that I've never been to a Julia party to get this.
Ain't no party like a Julia party, because Julia parties freak you out.
Yes. Do we want to move on to your second item?
Oh, sure. Bunker Wall 17 pocket shower curtain liner.
Oh, this thing.
Hold your
Yes.
iPad, your phone, your tablet, or your baby monitor. Because God forbid you take 5 minutes to wash the stink off your body without being connected to the internet. This is a horrifying product.
This thing is so ridiculous.
This is 100% made for serial killers to put their weapons in while they're doing their murdering.
Yeah, no, or if you have somebody locked in the basement and you want to keep track of them, like
Easy.
while you're taking a shower, like that, you know, you have your little monitor
there's
or whatever.
definitely no. This is only for nefarious things. Because I also was like, why would you need this many devices that you're keeping your eyes on unless you're watching something? And by something, I mean like people that you're murdering.
Right. That's
I
what
just want to point out my favorite 5-star review is from someone named Sergeant Daly. So right there, and it's can't live without it now. This is awesome. As others have said, I didn't know how much I needed it before. I use it every day to stream news and weather in the morning from my cable provider's app. One note: Kindle Fire 10 users. This ends up being so snug in the largest horizontal pocket, it puts pressure on the power and volume buttons. So don't use your Kindle Fire. But that's it's just terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, I find it upsetting to begin with.
Yes,
I
it
think,
is.
I think the thing that gets me is that is how many pockets it has. That it's just like, it's one thing to be like, yes, I want to stream the news or whatever. It's another, which you're not doing. That person's definitely like streaming a live signal of a kidnap victim. But like, when do you like, no, I need, like this lady needs 3 different things at the same time. She needs 2 separate cell phones and an iPad.
And different kinds of cell phones too. Because it's like one's a Google phone, and then she's got an iPad, and then I think she's got like an old iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
Like what?
And you can't
happening?
tell me that. You can't tell me that Samsung is not melting to plastic right now. You can't even
Also
take those
that.
things
Right.
out.
Yeah. It's got your different types of pockets for different things that.
Vertical tablet, horizontal phone, horizontal tablet, vertical phone. What? How long are you in a fucking shower for?
Couldn't you have just made the horizontal pocket bigger and then put the vertical phone in it?
Yes,
You
but
were
we're logicking this too much.
If you're taking showers, if you are really committed to a long shower and you cannot be away from your electronic device, you can buy otter boxes that will adhere to walls. So you can get a waterproof otter box. This is just, this is dumb.
Yeah.
And this goes right into what we were saying about the cat tongue thing, where it was like you go over to someone's house and they have this. You go over to someone's house and they have this, I would be like, we gotta go.
If you go over to someone's house and they have those things hanging in the shower curtain, it's 100% recording you as you're trying to do your business.
Oh, 100%.
I think you're
yes.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not just keeping the phone there for later.
They are live streaming that bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Julia, that means they make porn. Yep, Julia.
Yep.
The worst kind of porn.
Right.
Shower guest porn.
Right. But they'll get 3 slightly different angles of the porn, so that
and different quality, because
right, the
got that
iPad's going to
melted
be different.
Samsung.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That iPad's gonna have terrible camera quality.
Yeah. Good. Okay, so that brings us to my items. I don't know what I want to do with my items. I don't know which one is the keep it and which one is the get rid of it.
Quality.
Yeah. Mine feel very tame compared to the ones that you guys get. I always I always whatever. So I guess the first one is just something that like, I don't know. I'm just gonna do mine. We'll go through mine quick because we're already over time. The first one is the skull makeup holder. For when you want to be fancy, but you also want to be like crazy goth. I kind of love this a little bit because I feel like if I came to like if I went to somebody's house and they had this in their bathroom, then I think it's like serial killer or super awesome person. And I'm hoping this, like, if I make it out of the house, then I know that they're kind of cool.
The design on this is trying to let you know, hey, it's not serial killer by having the little whimsical vines. They're just trying to let you know it's like it's just a little, just a little goth. If it had no designs on it, then it's getting a little
right. If it was almost plausible, like a skull, then yeah.
Yeah, right. If it was literally just a skull, which at that point, if you're going to do this, just have a skull. I mean, not a real one, but.
But I'm just saying, like, I might vote for this just because it's like rather than having a cup, it's like a weird kind of cool, thing. So that's one of the items. The one that I would say is the buy item, is my other item, which is the Danny DeVito sequin pillow. I don't know if people have seen those types of pillows where if you brush it one way,
I've seen the Nicolas Cage one.
Yeah. So I think this is fun to have when people come over and just have it on the sequin side and let them eventually discover the Danny DeVito of it all. Because I think if you're sitting on a pillow and all of a sudden you just notice Danny DeVito kind of poking out at you, it'll be both horrifying and fun and exciting. So yeah, and this one happens to be Danny DeVito to Heather's point. There are Nicolas Cage ones. There are a bunch of different celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go wrong.
Nicolas Cage one was the only one I had actually heard of, so this is new to me.
I think we should get one. We should custom make one, and when you pull the sequence to the side, it's just Dustin in that one-piece outfit he was talking about.
Yeah,
that'd be amazing.
I mean, if you sell it for enough money, I will approve it. Like, let me know what the price points are. Also, I don't have any pictures of me in that outfit, but I will wear the Oregon, anatomically correct Oregon swim's bathing suit if people are willing to buy the pillows for $500 or more. So,
wow. There you have it, internet.
Yeah. If you got $500, I feel like, and that's something that you want to see, really, really decide beforehand if that's what you
really
need in your life. Yeah. Which brings us to the end of our show, guys. That was the last of our available now items. Chris, thank you so much for stopping by. Before we go, where can people find out more about what you got going on?
I'm on Instagram at thechrisbooth.com. That's thechrisbooth.com. And I just had, I'm an illustrator for Legacy Comics, and I just had 2 comic books come out for the Halloween season, Door Slash and Cannibal and the Causeway. I did all of Door Slash in terms of drawing and inking and coloring, and then I was the co-writer on it, or co-creator rather. And then Cannibal and the Causeway, I did the cover and the colors for that one. And I'm going to drop into the chat, and also you have it here, legacycomics.com. We are a Brooklyn-based comic book company, Brooklyn-based comic book creators. So please, please, please buy one of our books. They're like $4 if you get them digitally, or I think $5 to get them physical. And if you purchase physically, in fact, what I'll say is this: if you purchase them physically, if you're watching this at 9:05 p.m. on October 9th, if you purchase them physically for the next hour, we'll make sure that both myself and Patrick, the writer of Door Slash, will make sure to send you signed copies. Nice.
Guys, go do that now.
Nice. There it is.
Awesome.
It is.
Awesome. So please do that. The link is in chat.
People will like Door Slash. It's imagine if a serial killer used DoorDash in order to find victims, but only victims who don't tip. So
yeah, and not for sausaging.
Yeah, not for sausage.
Awesome. Heather, what do you got coming up?
I got the sketch show coming up, Roadhouse Sketch. We have a show next Tuesday, the 17th at 7 p.m. at the Tank. So come check us out. And next week, I'll remind you all that not only do we have the sketch show, but Red Shirts, my musical improv team, has a show the following evening, Wednesday, the 18th. Wow, I love how I don't know what dates are. But the next day, Wednesday, the 18th, and I believe that that's at the Pit, but I'll have better info for you next week. So yeah, lots of stuff coming up. Cool.
And then for me, I finally made the graphic for my Instagram because I've been slacking on that. Yay. At DDATO, I basically only post when I go someplace interesting. I'm not like a type of person who just posts like random stuff. So the once every couple of years I go on vacation, you'll see where I'm going on vacation. And occasionally about shows I have coming up. So follow me there, and you can follow us at Super Important Stuff, and we'll let you know who our guests are and other fun things that are coming along the way. And as Heather mentioned, Roadhouse is happening on October 17th, so please check that out. I think that's about the end of our show. Chris.
Never really know what's going on. Look at me sometimes.